Republican Ben Cline is now in office, replacing Bob Goodlatte. He's joining us live this morning. This is a historic class, including a record number of women. What was it like to be there on the floor, taking the oath of office?
Oh, it was great to be there and with my family, celebrating with the 6th District. There were a lot of folks who came up from the 6th District for the ceremony, and you could really feel the history in the room that day.
After all the celebrating, things quickly turned to the business at hand for the nation, and the government shutdown, which is now ending its second week, is still continuing. How do you feel about the possibility of getting a resolution to this and getting a resolution quickly with or without funding for a border wall?
Well, we could reach an agreement. We all just have to realize we have to come together and compromise. The president says he won't sign anything without funding for a wall. We need border security. So at some point, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are going to have to realize that they have to provide some funding for a wall. You can call it Nancy Pelosi's border barrier, but they want to see a wall. My constituents want to see a wall, and so I'm hopeful that we can get an agreement quickly that will get us back running and fund the wall.
So you think that wall or fence or barrier is absolutely necessary for border security?
And that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties.
Well, it's an important component of border security. You can have all the technology in the world, but until you have a barrier that keeps people from coming into the country, then you're going to continue to have this problem of illegal immigration. And it is a problem. The drugs, the sex trafficking, it is a real problem, even here in our community. So we have to take aggressive action. We have to have that border barrier. We have to have that wall.
What about working with Democrats, Congressman Cline? We've seen a lot of division over the last, I don't know, forever now it seems. How are you going to be working with Democrats, and is it even possible to have bipartisanship?
Oh, absolutely. Just look at Virginia. I spent 16 years in the Virginia legislature working across the line with Democrats, working on issues like higher education, transportation. I-81 is a big issue. I want to reach across the aisle and work on an infrastructure bill. I want to work on the 6-year transportation plan, on agriculture issues, on economic development issues. We can achieve great things if we work together to get things done.
And looking to the future, what do you see as kind of the next priorities once the government gets reopened? Of course, what are the next priorities that need to be knocked out in Washington to benefit the American people?
Well, the American people benefit when they are left with their own money in their own pockets and the freedom to make their own choices. So getting the federal government out of the way for small businesses, out of the way for communities to make their own decisions, that's going to be one main driver for me. But also focusing on core functions of government, infrastructure, I-81, making sure that I-81 is widened and we don't have it continue to be the most deadly highway in the country. It be that way for our business community, for our families, for our neighbors. We need to make those improvements to I-81, so I'm hopeful we can do that at the federal level and the state level and the local level.
Sounds like you have a lot of priorities there in Washington. We'll be following this session closely. Keep in touch with us, Congressman Cline.